Police secure safe release of 20 medical students, insist no ransom was paid. Ajaka urges Supreme Court to pursue prosecution of attackers. Kano rails under torrential rainfall, sparking public outcry over flooding. The foreign scene, Niamey, Nigeria's capital, isolated as flood waters surge. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's News Update. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us. The Police High Command has confirmed the release of 20 medical students who were abducted on their way to Benue State. It also said no dime was paid as ransom before the victims were rescued, contrary to reports that an amount of money was paid to the abductors. The spokesman of the Nigerian Police Force, ASP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, stated this while reacting to journalists' inquiry on Saturday. Reacting to the release, Adejobi said they were rescued tactically and professionally and commended security agencies, locals, and the Office of the National Security Advisor for their commitment and resilience. The Nigerian Medical Association has called on security agencies to rejig their intelligence efforts against insecurity to better protect lives and properties across the country. The president of the Nigerian Medical Association stated this at its meeting themed the role of government and health institutions in curbing health tourism held in Maiduguri. It also called on the federal government to promote the production of drugs and vaccines, improve the welfare of medical doctors and health workers to avert the Japa syndrome, while also investing in the sector to curb medical tourism. The president of Nigerian Medical Association, Bala Audu, commended the security agencies for rescuing 20 medical students who were abducted last week.
NEC wholeheartedly appreciates the tireless efforts of all security agencies in addressing the country's security challenges. We express our deep sympathies for the families affected by these issues. I encourage the adoption of intelligence-driven strategies to enhance security. NEC pledges continued collaboration in identifying and mitigating risks within the sector. NEC calls on the government to actively promote the production of drugs and vaccines. We support the creation of free trade zones for indigenous companies working closely with the National Institute of Pharmaceutical Research and the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria.
From there we go to Secretary of State, where the police command has arrested some suspects in connection with the protest held in Sabon Birni over the death of the abducted district head Issa Muhammad Bawa. The Deputy Public Relations Officer of the command, ASP Issa Muhammad, made this known in a statement in Sokoto. He said some miscreants had set ablaze private and public utilities, including the 25 housing units constructed by the state government to serve as accommodation for officials posted to serve in the area. The statement said the command would thoroughly investigate the matter to unravel the individual groups behind the protest in the area. According to the statement, a detachment of mobile police personnel has been sent to the area to maintain the peace, while calling on law-abiding citizens in the area to go about their normal business as police personnel are there to protect them. The command, however, cautioned the public against taking laws into their own hands, especially on matters that require judicial processes. Still in security matter, troops of the 6th Brigade and Sector 3 Operation Well Stroke, in collaboration with other security agencies, have arrested multiple criminals and terrorists, including a thief militia kingpin, Mela Selim, believed to have masterminded the killing of a traditional ruler of Chechengi and his son at Jankindo village in Takum local government area of Taraba State. The Acting Assistant Director, 6th Brigade Army Public Relations Captain Ulubudu Deoni, who discloses in a statement on Friday, said the operations carried out across various local government areas of the state. Oni said on August 18, 2024, troops acting on credible intelligence raided a criminal hideout in Takum local government area, leading to the arrest of a suspected kidnapper named David Musa. He notes that preliminary investigations revealed that Musa is associated with a notorious kidnap kingpin, Ephraim, also known as Skin the Boy. The suspect, Oninos, is currently undergoing further investigation to uncover more details about the criminal network. He added that in another operation on August 20, 2024, troops arrested suspected gun runners James Nuhu and Dan Asabe Ango in Wukari local government area. During interrogation, the suspects confessed to participating in various criminal activities within Wukari and surrounding areas. The Niger state government has appealed to the Nigerian army to redeploy its troops to communities prone to terrorist attacks in the state. The acting governor of the state, Yakubu Garba, made the appeal in an interview with newsmen after the three-day fidel prayer for 13 people killed by bandits in Shiroro. Recall that the victims lost their lives on Wednesday when they were ambushed by bandits on their way to their farms in Angowan village. Garba said the withdrawal of troops from Alawa and other communities had weakened the government's efforts to eradicate insecurity in the state. He said the Bago-led administration had deployed strategies to end insecurity, which had brought safety to commuters along Kutagwada, Zumba and Erena roads in Shiroro Council. According to him, those killed in the attack were displaced farmers that left the internally displaced persons camp. In political matters, the Social Democratic Party governorship candidate, Murtala Ajaka, in the November 11, 2023 governorship election in Kogi State has called on the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Betokun, and other relevant security agencies to investigate the attack on him and his supporters by some thugs. Ajaka and his supporters were attacked at the Supreme Court in Abuja on Friday after the five-member panel of justices of the Apex Court in a judgment dismissed his appeal challenging the election victory of Usman Ododo of the All Progressives Congress for lack of merit. Ajaka, in a statement on Saturday, condemned the attack on his person in the strongest terms, terming it an assault on democracy itself. Speaking on the judgment of the Supreme Court, which affirmed Ododo as the winner of the governorship poll in the state, Ajaka said although he respects the decision of the Supreme Court and its role in upholding the rule of law, he, however, rejects the outcome of the judgment. He urged his supporters to stay strong and prepare for 2027 when they will have to regroup and come back stronger. Moving away from that to Adamawa State, where the governor, Amadu Fintiri, has commenced payment of the new 70,000 naira minimum wage approved by the federal government, sparking widespread celebration among civil servants in the state. As promised, the governor initiated the payment of the new minimum wage for state workers starting August 2024, while local government workers will begin receiving the increased salary in September of 2024. Multiple sources, including state workers, will receive their salaries with the new minimum wage, confirmed the development to Daily Trust. Observers say some sections of state workers will receive the payment, expressed their appreciation for the governor's fulfillment of his promise, describing him as a man of his word. They commended Governor Fintiri for bringing joy to their families and pledged to continue supporting his administration to deliver more democratic dividends to the electorate. On health matters, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention on Friday announced that the country has recorded a total of 40 confirmed cases of Mpox out of 830 suspected cases. NCDC Director General Jide Idris disclosed this at the joint NCDC World Health Organization National Mpox briefing with stakeholders and partners in Abuja. The WHO Nigeria Country Office disclosed that Nigeria would be receiving doses of the Mpox vaccine through a donation from the United States government. Idris noted that an emergency operations center and an incident management system have been established since Mpox was declared a public health emergency of international concern. The NCDC boss also noted that the agency needs to enhance laboratory services as all confirmed cases so far were validated using genomic sequencing at the National Research Lab in Abuja and Lagos. He said due to the spread, there's a need to increase the number of laboratories for testing, including Lagos University Teaching Hospital and the African Center for Genomics.
Looking at the number of cases we have in the country, about 40, quite a number of them are in about 12 or 13 states. A number of them really in the south, southeast, some in Lagos, some in Ogun, and up north there, the central. And the distribution again, and our plans now are to target those states so that you can reduce the number of, you can actually carry out active surveillance to detect more cases. In detecting cases, again, we have case definitions. And of course, in those areas, again, you need to detect. How to detect? We have to beef up our laboratory services in those things. All the cases we've seen so far were confirmed using genomic sequencing in 2 labs, NRL, National Research Lab in Abuja here and in Lagos. But because of the spread, what is happening, we need to increase the number of laboratories we're going to use again to test.
Nigeria is not high risk, it's moderate risk, but we need to continue to remain vigilant because with cases reported as far as Europe or Asia, and Nigeria is not it's not safe until this overall event is safe. So we'll continue to work with the government to strengthen public health measures.
Still staying with the Mpox virus, the National Agency for the Control of AIDS has urged the public to take preventive measures against the rising threat of Mpox in line with its commitment to the health and safety of Nigerians, particularly those living with HIV. The Director General of NACA, Dr. Temitope Ilori, said this in a statement on Saturday, signed by the agency's Head of Public Relations and Protocol, Toyin Aderigbigbe. Ilori emphasized the heightened risk faced by people living with HIV, stating that while anyone can contract Mpox, individuals with compromised immune systems, such as those living with HIV, may experience more severe symptoms. She said these individuals must take extra precautions to protect themselves. She further noted that NACA is actively monitoring the situation and working closely with public health authorities to ensure that adequate resources and information are available. Dr. Ilori advised the public to remain vigilant and informed, underscoring the importance of early detection and 2 more stories. Travelers from Jalingo to Wukari in Taraba State, as well as those heading to southern states in Nigeria, are now being compelled to seek alternative routes due to the collapse of a key bridge in this state. The bridge, which connects Jalingo, the state capital, to Wukari and nearby Benue State, was severely damaged following heavy rainfall which occurred on Thursday night. The rain, which began around 11 p.m. and lasted until 5 a.m. Friday, caused significant flooding. The damaged bridge, as of the time of filing this report, has left the road impassable, causing major disruptions for travelers. An eyewitness said travelers were now forced to take a much longer route through Garabachede in Bali Local Government Council before accessing Jalingo, the administrative headquarters of the state. Communities around Shua, a town in Madagali local government area of Adamawa State, have been hit by torrential rainfall, which led to a flood that has claimed 6 lives. The flood displaced 10,264 people who are now registered as refugees in several camps on safer grounds around the area. Witnesses said the disaster, described as unprecedented in the area, caused particular devastation on communities that included Kirikinga, the hometown of Governor Omardu Fintiri, as well as Mildu, Duhu, Meiwandu, Maradi, and other parts of the state. The heaviest rain, said to have occurred in the nearby Madara mountain and was accompanied by more rains in other communities down the mountain, caused the flood that destroyed houses, foodstuff and other domestic valuables, while also washing off farmlands. The Shua main bridge, along which commuters passed the neighboring Borno state, was also destroyed. A source put the number of partially destroyed houses at 184, with 251 others totally destroyed. The chairman of Madagali local government area, Simon Musa Wu, said the affected communities had never had it so bad. affirmed that thousands of individuals displaced were now seeking refuge at 8 temporary camps located mostly in the premises of schools. Still staying with rain-related matters. Now, residents of Korofamata in Kanu's metropolis are living in fear after heavy rains wreaked havoc in the neighborhood. In the aftermath of the rains, 13 houses collapsed, claiming one life and leaving several others injured. Abba Adamu visited the area and filed this report is presented from our studio.
Residents of Korofamata have been plunged into mourning after heavy rains caused significant damage, resulting in the collapse of 13 mold-built houses. The tragic incident led to the death of a woman known locally as Maman Abba. According to local accounts, the tragedy occurred on Saturday when one of the collapsed buildings fell on the woman and her child while they were asleep. Hajia Baba Lare, the sister of the deceased, recounted the heartbreaking incident, highlighting the devastation caused by the heavy rains. On Friday, it rained heavily and there was a loud thunderstorm. Since then, I could not sleep. I got up and was praying in the name of Allah. After the thunderstorm, not up to 15 minutes later, the room collapsed on her and her child while they were sleeping. Aisha Yahya Gidan Shayi, who narrowly escaped with her children from one disaster, faced another tragic event when the building they were in collapsed on them. We were fast asleep after dawn when suddenly we had a loud crash. I woke up to find myself trapped under the rubble. I saw some children wailing and told them to stop crying and recite the Islamic phrase, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. A total of 13 houses, including those belonging to Balaraba Yahya, Aisha Yunusa, Zainab Muhammad, Usman Bello and several others in the Korofamata area were affected by the incident. Muhammad Jibrin, a community leader in the Korofamata, reported that authorities have yet to take any action or response to the disaster. Up until now, the government has not done anything about it. But within our community, even before the building collapsed, the youth had come together to clear and sanitize the environment and remove all the garbage in our water channels. He's urged to the government to provide assistance to the community in the wake of the disaster, while appealing to local authorities to come to their aid.
Let's get to business, where the National Bureau of Statistics says the average retail price per litre of household kerosene paid by consumers in July was 1,769 naira 86 kobo. According to this kerosene price watch released, this shows an increase of 13.81% compared to 1,555 naira 11 kobo recorded in June. Based on state profile analysis, the Bureau said the highest price per litre was recorded in Akwa Ibom at 2,383 naira 33 kobo, followed by Oyo at 2,375 naira and Delta at 2,309 naira 62 kobo. NBS said the lowest price was recorded in Adama with 1,171 naira 11 kobo, followed by Taraba with 1,191 naira 30 kobo and Borno with 1,381 naira 58 kobo. On analysis by zone, NBS said the South recorded the highest average retail price per litre of kerosene with 2,086 naira 61 kobo, followed by the Southwest with 2,051 naira 27 kobo, while the Northeast recorded the lowest with 1,411 naira 97 kobo. The Bureau also reported that the average retail price per gallon of kerosene paid by consumers in July was 5,762 naira 10 kobo, indicating an increase of 1.11% from 5,698 naira 68 kobo in June. Away from Nigeria, over in Niger, its capital Niamey has been almost completely cut off from the rest of the country by rising flood water following the heavy rains that have hit the Sahel region since June. The main routes out of the city of about 1.5 million are mostly underwater, and about 11,500 of its inhabitants have been affected by the disaster. Over the past 3 months, the rains have caused 217 deaths across the country and affected more than 350,000 people, according to the military-led authorities that took power in July of 2023. Niamey, in the southwest of the country, was initially spared, but now canoes have replaced buses and delivery vans on the roads. Most transport companies have suspended their routes to the rest of Niger, along with dilapidated dinghies that charge 500 CFA, a little less than $1. Gendarmerie and military motorboats are helping to transport stranded residents. And finally, in sports, the Nigerian Football Federation has described the death of Heartland coach and former under-20 goalkeeper Christian Obi as shocking and sad. Heartland's media officer Olatunde Leadi confirmed the death of the golfer in a statement on Saturday following a ghastly accident involving one of the team's buses, which was on their way to Abakaliki, the Ebonyi state capital, for a pre-season tournament on Friday. NFF President Ibrahim Gusau said the Federation is stunned and saddened by the report of Obi's death and commiserated with the immediate family of coach, his friends and relations, the Imo State Football Association and the Imo State government, owners of Heartland Football Club. The former Nigerian Premier Football League side also paid tribute to their late coach who guided them back to the top flight last season. Obi was a member of the Nigerian under-20 team that won the bronze at the 1985 FIFA World Youth Championship, now FIFA Under-20 World Cup, in the then Soviet Union, defeating the host nation in a penalty shootout in a third-place match after scoreless regulation and extra time in Moscow. With that, we've come to the end of news updates at this time. For more of our news, programs and documentaries, please do well to follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us at this time.